maybe in North Carolina certainly.
Wait, what you're right is
so forth. But I don't think that her mere presence. She's not going to win many electoral votes down there. She might win North Carolina.
Well, interesting what you say. Practically the whole region has rejected nearly everything that's good about this country. It's become just one big nuclear waste site of choleric and extremely racialized resentment. And you say with Landers' departure, the Democrats will have no more senators in the Deep South. And I say, good. Forget about it. Forget about the whole fetid place. Write it off. Let the GOP have it and run it. Turn it into a free market Jesus paradise. The Democrats don't need it anyway. And you make a distinction, Michael, between presidential and congressional politics, right? You're saying we still, obviously, like Florida and where else were you talking about?
Virginia.
Yeah, it's still important, and North Carolina under the right circumstances. And you say at some point in the future you'll be able to talk about Georgia state as a Democrat can capture, and eventually Texas too because of demographics, right?
Right. So, but that's at the presidential level. From the congressional level on down, it's just trying to make heavy inroads into the South for the Democratic Party at this point. I think it's just chasing bad money after bad.
Right.
The Democratic Party raises many millions of dollars, but the resources are finite, and the other side raises more. And if the strategy is to get a congressional majority, you have to, as a man near and dear to your father's heart, Barry Goldwater said, you have to go hunting where the ducks are. And for the Democrats, the ducks aren't down south.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Stephanie Miller Show.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, it's time to feel good. Hey, all right now, it's time to feel good.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Dirty Whore Friday.
Yay!
Journalist whore May Lee, live in hour number 3. 1-800-STEP-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Friday means one other magical thing. You know what I'm saying.
Bugle sang, a sang. Bugle sang. He's so fine. Bugle sang, a sang. She were mine. Bugle sang.
Good morning, John Fugelsang.
Good morning. I have to ask if you're okay. I understand that for a few hours, you guys were subject to what we back here call weather. Are you
Yes.
all right?
Yes, we have experienced. In fact, we all got what are they like alerts on our phones in the middle of the night?
Flash flooding alerts.
Wow.
Look out, moisture!
Oh,
yeah.
My God, your precious immune systems. I heard the weather plunged from pleasant to mild. Are you sure you're okay?
We're okay. We're a little traumatized.
See, the weather here is a little all or nothing. Most of the year we have nothing, but then the weather that you get throughout the year comes all at once here.
Yeah, there's nothing bipartisan about what happens out here.
No, I heard that you guys, when you go from your homes to your cars, because you don't actually have to walk in this weather and take public transportation.
No.
I heard that you might have some palm fronds in the street. I hope you're okay.
Piles of them.
Yes.
FEMA is bringing soy lattes to everyone in Los Angeles to make sure you're okay.
Yes.
If there's anything you need from us, let us
Thank
know.
you. Thank you, John. We appreciate your support
having a telethon for you.
in this
It's all
trying time.
The telethon? Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
need one.
Yes. If Jesus could deal with the palm fronds when he walked, so can we, John. Thank you.
That's okay.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning,
You're
sir.
all right.
Good morning, sir.
Good-
We're talking
good day
about the Wall Street giveaway in our in the budget bill, which is they just have. Speaking of people that have just not had enough help, the poor banks.
Oh, the poor banks. You know, it's like the banks haven't had a chance to completely gamble with their customers' money, and when they run trillions of dollars up in debt, have we, the taxpayers, bail them out. And I am so thankful that enough Democrats and Republicans came together again and said, hey, let's just kill Dodd-Frank and feel good about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I have some jokes about it, but all my jokes about the Wall Street criminals are a bit derivative.
Hey! That's why he's John Fugelsang.
Seriously? Wow.
That was awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty ugly. It's a real bad deal. And it's the ultimate triumph. The funny thing is that the Republicans are the ones who are most angry about this.
I know. Sean Hannity had a meltdown. Yeah.
Oh, well, they're all furious. I haven't seen Republicans and Democrats hate one thing this much since New Coke or Romney.
Yeah.
It's very, very likely. But it is a victory for people who hate big government but love $554 billion military budgets. So,
and the president is very happy to sign this bill, unfortunately.
Indeed he is. And, well, this way we have a budget. And, it's the ultimate proof that that right-wing obstruction has made a popularly elected president not matter. Those two elections don't matter at all.
Chris Rock had Chris Rock had a great tweet, John, I don't know if you saw it, about, only could a president, end two wars, kill bin Laden, gas prices to, $2.50, unemployment under, what are we now, under 8%, and be called a failure as a president. But this is, you're right, this is the new reality because of the midterms, is it's going to get worse in January. So now it's a victory that we didn't defund Obamacare or the executive action on immigration, I guess.
Yeah, if he is a failure, it's because he's cooperated 100%, and he has allowed the GOP to frame this. This guy fights back like Betty White against a bunch of Hell's Angels, and this is his legacy. He has completely set the stage to allow another Wall Street crash, and once again, socialism will prop up irresponsible capitalism. Thank you, you two-party system that we never should have trusted.
Yeah.
I'm glad the money's going to go to bail out big banks instead of helping elites, like working people.
Yeah, right.
But it's really, really sad. And look, wow.
Well, look at it. Like there's two sides. Both sides do it, and there's apparently a different set of opinions on what what's torture or not when it's been set in international law for how long, right? And then we have people, by the way, quoting Jesus, that Jesus would have been for torture.
Well, we'll talk about that extensively. There are no two opinions about that. There are facts. And there are liars. And Ronald Reagan was on the side of facts. Ronald Reagan called it torture. And God bless him for it because he was right. It's great to see Dick Cheney throw George W. Bush under the bus. That was remarkable. I think.
In what way? In what way?
In that Dick Cheney came out yesterday on Fox and said that Bush knew everything.
Yeah.
He said Bush was apprised of everything. He signed off on everything.
Yeah.
Now, Cheney has hated Bush ever since Bush wouldn't pardon
Scooter Libby, yeah.
And that was the one time Bush stood up against President Cheney, and Cheney's never forgiven him. And we know this. They have not been photographed together. They are not close. And good for Bush for standing up against the guy. But Bush has tried to play the dumb card, ironically enough. Dick Cheney is so evil his Horcruxes destroy themselves. And now for him to he's going to be on Meet the Press this weekend. He'll be the one, I think he'll be the one on the left. It might be hard to tell the difference between him and Chuck Todd if the sound's up. I do think that it's going to be remarkable because Dick Cheney's, Bush's greatest accomplishment was not dying in office. But now we are going to see what's going to happen when he completely gets thrown under the bus. And John Brennan, how great was that? John Brennan coming out and saying torture's bad, but we're still going to do it. And we also classify all adults killed in drone strikes as militants to keep the civilian death count low. So, this is why when people say the two-party system is the same, a lot of people believe it, and of course they're not. The Democrats are far better on women's reproductive rights, on the minimum wage, on things to help the working class. But at the end of the day, Wall Street controls both parties. It's a wonderful life. Mr. Potter got a tax cut from Reagan, deregulation from Clinton, a bailout from W, and a very stern lecture from Obama, and he's still going to rip off Bedford Falls.
Here is John Brennan, actually, yesterday, the CIA director.
The study's contention that we repeatedly and intentionally misled the public and the rest of the U.S. government rests on the committee's view that detainees subjected to EITs did not produce useful intelligence.
And did you see that Senator Dianne Feinstein,
she tweeted.
She live tweeted the whole thing and said, here's what really happened.
Yeah. I mean, again, John, not two sets of facts. The information they got was before they were tortured. In fact, Ali Soufan was the one interrogator. You remember that interview, John? He said, he was talking specifically, I think, about Zubadiah, which one.
Yeah.
But he said he wouldn't shut up. It's only when they started torturing him that he stopped talking. They had... it's all of this information they had. So it's not like, it's unknowable if we could have gotten it other ways. Yes, it is knowable. That's what Dianne Feinstein tweeted. Yes, it is knowable. We know that we did get it before there was torture.
Because torture doesn't work. It's brutal, it's inefficient, it's ineffective. And, John Brennan's a fascinating guy. I mean, he comes off as the most thoughtful, soft-spoken, reflective man who could still kill you with his bare hands. He's sort of like all the members of the Fantastic Four rolled into one because he looks like the Thing. He talks like Reed Richards. He can easily set things on fire halfway across the globe, and he knows how to make CIA docs invisible. But, for him to come out and call it EIT, that's to save time instead of calling it enhanced interrogation treatment. That's 3 syllables. Torture's only 2.
Yeah.
That's the greatest sign of the BS we're dealing with. We won't call it torture. We're calling it enhanced interrogation techniques. 9 syllables.
And he said,
he reduces it to 3.
He said, I'll leave it to others how they might want to label those activities. For me, it was something that's regrettable. Well, it's always been defined as a war crime.
Right.
It's not something regrettable. It's not something. It has been labeled torture, and we labeled it torture when it was done to us.
We murdered a guy in custody. We raped people. We raped men anally. I mean, what do you call penetration without consent? In this country, we call it rape.
Yeah.
That's what we did over there. That's what your tax dollars paid for, right-wing trolls listening to Steph's show right now. And, again, this stuff doesn't get rid of America haters. This stuff creates new America haters. Now China is laughing at us for calling them out on their human rights violations.
Yeah, but between Ferguson and Eric Garner and the torture report, exactly. And by the way, the CIA's response is at odds with a separate internal review overseen by former director of the agency, Leon Panetta, which they claim is far more critical of the detention and interrogation program. I mean, they act like this is some, this is just some sort of partisan, this is your opinion. It's not. It is corroboration of what we've already known, right?
Well, in all fairness, Leon Panetta is also saying that, that the torture led to actionable intelligence that helped save American lives. So, at least Brennan's not coming out and saying that. And for years, the CIA didn't say that. Now it's changed all over again. I mean, Mr. Brennan, when he was undergoing his hearings to head the CIA, actually said under oath, I can't say if it's torture. I'm not a lawyer. He said this while surrounded by lawyers who could have told him it was torture. He should have coached Chuck Hagel. But, it's like he can't even call it what it is. Under Bush, we were told this was simulated drowning. But waterboarding isn't simulated drowning. It's drowning a guy and stopping before he can die. We know it's torture. Ronald Reagan called it torture, and it's why we prosecuted people for doing it in the Philippines in 1916, and we sentenced Japanese generals to hard labor for doing it during World War II. So everyone defending this right now is saying, go ahead, foreign enemies, and torture our POWs. Because essentially that's the green light we've been given. And I guarantee you will see ISIS doing waterboarding videos in no time.
Yep. Let's take a quick one before the break. Catherine in Madison, you're on with John. Hey, Catherine.
Hi. We keep looking for answers and being on the defensive, not the offensive. And there's a professor, Art Silverblatt of Webster University, who wrote the closest thing to a Karl Rove handbook about the tactics used in responses and countermeasures. And I really think I'd love to see John read it. There's a short article. If you Google Karl Rove campaign strategies, you come up with a short article on the strategies, and then Professor Silverblatt's paper is like second or third on the list. And, I mean, this has been a decades-long coordinated plan to take over. I mean, when Walker talked to one of the billionaires in our state, Governor Walker in Wisconsin, she said, are we going to be a one-party state, a right-to-work state? This is not politics. This is a takeover.
Yeah. Well, I mean, John, that's what I was saying is the saddest thing is anything we even, vaguely got done, whether it was McCain-Feingold or Dodd-Frank, has already been peeled back. Yeah. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I mean, and McCain turned his back on McCain-Feingold. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
With Citizens United, I mean, the irony of Citizens United is that the first people to be hurt by it were the Republican primary voters who got stuck with Mitt Romney when he bought the nomination.
Yeah.
Citizens United, it's going to hurt everybody. It's going to hurt conservatives. It's going to hurt everyone except millionaires who want to own elections.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, it's terribly sad, but I think that the caller makes a very good point. The best thing we can do is educate our loved ones about what right to work means. It doesn't mean right to work. It means kill unions in every state to keep salaries low.
Yeah,
and if you don't like unions, then you don't like high salaries. Because if you think the 50s were the good old days, why is that? Because both parties supported labor unions, and workers had a lot of power.
That's why we have weekends, by the way.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
and we wouldn't have nice things like Fridays with Fugelsang. We need to take a quick break, and we continue more Fridays with Fugelsang on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Fresh
Republican outrage. You keep listening, she'll make more. It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
Why, it's fund drive time. Hooray! It's time to get your year-end tax-deductible donation by giving to your